Tosh, what up?
What's good? What's good? How you guys doing?
I'm good. Glad to be here with you. Thank you for welcoming us into your studio space
Of
for
course.
the first in real life edition of WVZlength.
Of course, no problem. Happy to be here.
Yeah. So, this is our artist talk. What we really want to do is just get into what's going on with you right now in this moment, what is inspiring the place that you're at, and just a little bit more about, your greater vision for, your career, for the game in general,
Yeah. Well, what part do you want to start with?
Right. Well, I'll tell you this. So, I just kind of break the fourth wall a little bit. We had a meeting, maybe 3-4 weeks ago with you, your new management team, Peanut Butter and Friends, right? And so, we're talking. Hazel's telling us that you got some new music coming out. We're like, okay, Tasha's always coming with the heat. What we got? She sends over something called Chaos. And there could not be a more aptly titled record at all, But then you start hitting us with the breadcrumbs, with the content and all of that. And, the one thing that we know about Tasha, she's going to build a world, right? So what is Chaos? First off, let me zoom out. What's coming? And then, let's go there.
Yeah, Chaos is coming. She is a character that lives within me that has been working through my shadows and working through things that I've been holding back, desires that I want to talk about, ways that I want to express myself. She's just like that little monster that has not had a chance to express herself for a long time, and now she's turning into a big monster and coming out to play. And I'm really excited for her to come through because I feel for a long time I've kind of held back forms of expression because of just different things people have told me in the past or ways of being people told me to be. And I'm finally at a place where I don't know if it's astrological, how the moons is moving or whatever, but I'm at a place where I just don't really care what people think right now and feel like I need to express my whole self.
I love that.
And so Chaos is a part of that whole self that I'm expressing.
Okay. I love that. Yeah, no, we don't want to see her coming.
Well, you will. I'm sorry. The world needs her to come out right now.
No, listen. No, Chaos is, again, we will not spoil Chaos for the people, but I can just say that there are so many voices. There are so many deliveries. There are so many different nods to genre that happen there. And we're talking sonically, but we're also even talking in your cadences, right? The way that you are, meeting those melodies. And so, if you could, without, like I said, spilling all the tea, tell us about Chaos. Who is Chaos to you, and where is she pulling from?
Yeah, Chaos, she developed from my time in New Jersey a lot and in the Baltimore club sound a lot. I have family in Baltimore, but I never really partied in Baltimore because Baltimore a wild place. But Jersey, I partied a lot in.
Yeah.
And I grew up listening to a lot of amazing DJs from Jersey, like Unique and Slink and all the homies who I just watched growing up. And then MIA I was a huge MIA fan when I was a kid. And Rai Rai, I was a huge fan of Rai Rai. Shout out to all of them who always have been kind of in my orbit, but because I stepped into music straight into hip hop and straight into mostly boom bap hip hop, I never had time to explore that world for myself. And so when I started producing music in the pandemic area, I was just I want to explore this now. I think it's time for me to explore a new dimension of sound for myself and really get into the Jersey club, the dance music. And, we've done the house stuff already. But I really wanted to tap into Chicago sound, even and Baltimore sound, and then the Philly sound and Jersey sound, and kind of mosh it. And create this crazy monster of sound for myself, while my tongue is still very New York. She's still very like gritty New York, you know, LaTASHÁ that everybody knows to love.
Yeah.
But then I got deep into like electronic music and started like listening to a lot of A.G. Cook and like homies in that world. And I was like, oh, and you know, Sophie and all of them. I love those worlds so much. And so I was like, okay, I feel like there's an influence there as well. So I want to like play in that realm. And before I knew it, I was like producing this crazy like dance record that just spills into all these different types of genre.
Yeah.
And I couldn't write on the song by myself.
Yeah.
Whenever I produce, I just have trouble writing on anything that I produce. So
I want to hear more about that. But yeah, stay on.
So I got my boy Eli, who is like an executive producer on the project, with me to like help me evolve the production a little bit more, because I'm still very fresh in production. A lot of my work is just like collage sampling and finding like a bunch of different samples and putting it together and then chopping it up and figuring out how they all work together. And Eli came in, he helped me like evolve the sound even more and tighter. And then I was like, all right, I don't know what I want to say on this record. I just know I love what it sounds like. I want to say something, but I don't know. So I started getting a lot of writers in the room with me to come and help me write with the song. And I don't know how many writers we got in the room with me. I feel like I was really on some Kanye camp shit.
Look, the one time I pulled up,
it was like
a gang.
It was like a gang of writers. We got like 10 different people to just come in and spill.
Yeah.
Like I just wanted people to spill and see what would happen. And we started like developing on this record, and everybody was like, yo, this is heat. And so when I rewrote, because I took everything that everybody gave me, and then I started kind of like collaging where I wanted those verses to live. And then Lenny, aka Young Spielberg, who was like this crazy Jewish white boy who just came in and started like...
Shout out to Young Spielberg.
Yeah, shout out to Young Spielberg. He wanted, you know, he's been waiting for the opportunity to rap like this. And so Young Spielberg came through and he was like, yo, you need like some singing in this of some sort, like a melody.
I was going to ask about that. Okay.
So Spielberg helped us kind of devise the melody, and then I put the words to it a little bit with Eli. And then all of a sudden we had this like Frankenstein of a record, which I'm like, oh my God, what did we do?
Yeah.
And I love the song so much. It's so crazy. It's like a huge, crazy record. And then there's like elements of anime in it, and like us just playing with like just a lot of different textures.
Yeah.
So that's how Chaos came to life in the musical form. I realized who Chaos was later on. Like once I kept like diving into her and started building the content of her, I realized, oh, she's a version of myself that I don't get to reveal. And she wants to finally come out. And so the lore of Chaos comes from my shadow work and like the opportunity for me to express like deep parts of myself that I haven't expressed in all forms, from sensuality to, you know, just braggadocio, like all of the things that LaTASHÁ wants to come out. Chaos is doing that for me.
Got it. Chaos is gonna talk your shit. Chaos is that girl. I get it.
She's a ladder.
I get it. Okay. All right. That's amazing. So we experienced a 10. And, you know, I could make some assumptions about, you know, which girly a 10 is. You know, a 10 feels like the corporate girly. A 10 feels like, you know, I watch Severance. I know that show has people mad stressed.
Yo, it's so funny because
it's brilliant.
It's a brilliant show. It's a brilliant show.
Yeah. So, but in the context now of, I guess, this world building, right? Because again, these are forces, these are energies. So how do we... What's the connection, or I guess the correlation from, say, a 10, you know, which everybody knows, and, you know, Chaos, which is, you know, upon us?
So a 10 is a very specific character because she plays a loop that I've been living in for a very long time. Like a loop of living in the normative of what people expect of me. She is like, yes, braggadocious, she's boss, she's all that, but she's also a cycle that I've been in for a long time. She is, you know, I love house music and probably will always dive into house music, but she's very inspired by house. And she also, you know, plays this like, I don't care about the world, I'm that bitch kind of, you know, energy. And but deep down in her core, she knows she has her insecurities. She knows she has things that she needs to, like, you know, express.
Yeah.
And so a 10 is like a cycle.
Okay.
Like that's why the even the lyrics keep going, I've been a 10. Like, you know, it's an affirmation, but there's this like irony in affirmation to me that like we keep saying affirmations because maybe deep down inside we have an insecurity or a lack that we're feeling.
Yeah.
And so a 10 is about that for me. She was like my affirmation to like remind myself and boost myself up.
Yeah.
But deep down, I know that I have other things I'm trying to fulfill and other insecurities that I need to like open up about. And so the two girls connect, a 10 and chaos, because one is the past and one is taking us to the future.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so this is art. So just so y'all know, in case for some reason y'all didn't understand what you were.
It's okay.
Didn't understand what you were dealing with here. This is art. All right. This is direction. This is clarity. This is purpose. This is intention.
Thank you.
This is world building.
Thank you. I appreciate
you know,
it.
that is what we have. It's almost unfair. I'm like, that is what we've come to expect from you, and that is such such a massive lift. You know, can you maybe shed some light for me on how you see your art and how you see just the pursuit of this thing that you do?
Yeah, my art is immersive. It is multifaceted and multidimensional and disciplinary and lots of disciplinaries as well. I've always been a musician that can't make music without the visual, and I've always been a visual artist that can't make visuals without the music, and so it always kind of connects with each other. And then there's always an aspect of performance art in everything that I do as well. So especially with Chaos, you guys are going to see a lot of performance art that is ritual. It's kind of like my way of healing through something or working through something. So for Chaos, for example, we're really working through the shadow work within myself. And that's how I build art. Art for me is healing, but it's also the party all at once, you know, and that's what I want to do. I want to heal people at the party because I feel like we need some healing at the party sometimes.
We need some healing at the party.
You know?
That's a bar.
And we also need some revolution at the party. Yep. We need all of that, you know, and I like to see myself as a revolutionary party girl. Yeah. Like that's what I like to do and offer insight and understanding and thought while we're wilding out together, you know? Right. And so the art does that, but it's also high-end contemporary and seeing us in museums and bringing all of the like different genres to that height, because I think we miss out on that a lot. I think people missed out on the like incredible like artistic flair that Jersey Club brings or Chicago Sound brings and Philly, and all of that deserves to be in museums, you know? Yeah. And so those are the ways I kind of take art. I'm like, this is fine art.
I'm glad you thank you. I'm glad you said that. Mm-hmm. You know, I think one of the things that I have always appreciated about how you approach your craft, and honestly, it's the way that I see this thing that we do. It's so, because the hip hop in us, right, tells us make what you can with what you've got, and pull from just all these different sources and express in all these different ways and be seen, be heard. We do all of those things really well without realizing just how beautiful the thing is that we're doing, because it's rooted in this fight to be seen, this fight to be heard, this fight to survive, this fight to exist, right? We're not realizing that we've created something so beautiful, so profound, something that literally is being mined, truly, if we want to think about these things like precious gems, if we want to think about these things like, assets,
right.
Particularly from the intellectual property standpoint, right? They're being mined everywhere you look. Every billboard at this point, every commercial. Once upon a time, it was we were taboo. This expression was taboo, and only we knew that this was something. Now everybody knows it, and it's almost like the joke is on us in terms of our understanding of the value of it in society. And so, I think it takes doing the work that you're doing. Elevating the visuals. Again, talk about the museums, right? Just artists in residence at, in Palm Springs. So got to talk about that in a second if you got time.
Yeah, of course.
But putting the work in places to be received, to be perceived as what it is. Because nobody's going to call it that unless you make it that.
Exactly.
So that's just something that, I definitely want to make sure that I say to you that,
thank you.
I greatly appreciate about what you're doing.
Thank you. That means a lot.
And just really what I believe, other artists hopefully can learn from what you do as well.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, I went to Wesleyan University and I studied African American studies, hip hop, and psychology, and those were like my main focuses. And performance art was like my minor. And there is where I realized how valuable the work we do is and all its assets, and how much, yes, it is mined and seen as valuable, but also not retributed. We don't receive the retribution for all the things that we've done as a people. Yes, we are commodified. We are, commercialized, and we are taken for granted and all the things, etc. And I think a large part of my work is in that fight. I also am Haitian, so it comes with that. Being a Haitian woman, I'm very adamant about, the first Black Republic and all the, history that comes with that. And I really want to see us receive the value for who we are as people. I hate seeing people taken advantage of, and I hate seeing how systems reinforce our people to take advantage of each other. Yeah. And a lot of my work is in healing that for myself, and hopefully the music could heal a lot of people in that way too, to see that we already are thriving. And so that's what I do.
Well, listen, we greatly appreciate what you do.
Thank you.
For those that don't know, LATASHÁ is one of the first artists that was signed to Waves Manufacturing Publishing Company. So at day one, and it's definitely been a journey and a ride, but, we just love everything that, we have been able to do together. Every way that we've been able to collaborate, and, just excited about the future of, publishing, music publishing, but also putting music publishing in the hands of artists, putting the knowledge, the understanding, and the awareness, and that partnership and that advocacy, into the space. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Really grateful to be a part of Waves family.
Thank you. Well, with that said, y'all, make waves.
Make waves.
Peace.